Have you heard about CV?
Yes.
So there are still some people who do not know what a CV is. Right?
Yes. Call for voting.
So before we get to the CV preparation part, we'll first look at cover letter writing. So the session is divided into 4 sessions: CV preparation, soft skills grooming, technical grooming, and then mock interview session.
Have you configured this before? Yes, no. Tell us how. Right? Okay. So, in our system engineering field, the field is so broad that the careers that you can get from it are categorized under this summary. Right? So we have designing network architectures. So that is where your N class will come in. That's where your CCNA will come in, the CCNP, right? That you have been learning that you don't know the meaning or where it is relevant. They are being classified under the network architecture. Then we have the integrating systems and service. That is where the operating system, the computer A+ technology will also come in there. Then we have managing system requirements. So somebody wants to set up a company. What kind of machines do I need to set up the company? So it is you, the system engineer, who is going to say that i5, i7 with so spec and speed, right, is useful for such a service. And the 1-year course at IPMC as a system engineer, this is where your career begins. So by studying the A+, the N+, the server administration, and then Linux, and then the AWS, right? This is where your career path begins. So when you go on LinkedIn and you are looking for job opportunities, you are looking for what? Junior level what? System engineer what? Roles. These are the things that you can do, because if you look at the description that they put over there, you realize that they are the things you are what? Learned in class. Like what? Virtualization. Microsoft what? Azure. Windows installation, right? So when you come here, we say what? Cisco certified, CCNA, the CCNP, the Information System Security Professional, CISSP, right? We also have this course in the second semester of our course. I'm not saying that these are the only ones, but these are core ones that are added up to it. So we say that you are responsible for what? Designing, implementing, and maintaining computer networks. Configure network devices such as what? Routers and switches, access points, right? If you can do all these things, when you see a job advertisement like this, would you be happy to apply for it? Because you have the knowledge about it. You should be able to what? Target job roles like what? Systems and network what? Administrator, server administrator, right? Network what? Engineer. You can do some of these things. So for this, you need the Microsoft what? Azure certification, and then the Linux administration, Red Hat. Right now, if you want to do cybersecurity, everything, if you don't know Linux, forget it. It's very, very important. So the CompTIA A+ certification, N+ certifications are here. The VMware, and then what? AWS what? Certified. They are not part of the school fees, they are not compulsory, but it is a must for you to what? Be able to compete at a higher level. Are we good?
Yes.
All right. Let's go to the next one. So from here, now you are at the senior most level. This, you require degree, maybe an advanced diploma or a postgraduate diploma, or probably even masters. This is where you are. And here, it's more of management decision level making. Okay? So we are saying that you design and plan enterprise level networks. You evaluate network requirements, recommendations, and then oversee the implementation. So you will say that I am the CTO. Hey, go ahead and install this fiber cable at this customer site. You back up the server here. Okay? At the senior most level, you don't do much of what? Configuration. You speak less, you enjoy more. And then what? Compliance with the what? The cloud. The cloud, we all know, is just about what? Data center that is not physically what? Present as wherever you are. So just like we manage computers here, on the cloud also we need people with certified what? Skills that will manage the PCs that are what? Virtually what? Handled within the cloud environments. And we need people with such certification. So if you are interested, you just specialize in what? The cloud technology, and then the money you make will what? Amaze you. So you can take the AWS certification, the Microsoft Azure certification. Google also has some, and then the CompTIA Cloud what? Plus. As you can see there. Physical computer management, you don't get. What about cloud? Then you're calling yourself an IT person. They won't believe you. Right? It is good to game. It is good to make friends. It is good to use social media platforms and what? Laugh at people and what? Train a lot of things. But if you don't feed your mind with knowledge and information, the only job available for you will be betting. That's all.
Now, after studying database, these are some of the jobs that are available. For the very first time, when I meet my students, they will ask me that, say, when I'm done with this course, can I call myself database administrators? I also tell you that this happens to be the beginning of your what? Your career. How then you put in the data? In this role, the database managers will usually supervise databases and then the staff that run the databases to ensure that they are secure, run efficient, and operate in a smooth, organized work manner. That is what is called mandate. So those of you who have played database, can you show my hands? So this is the core mandate of a database manager. He manages the data that gets into his hands. Now let's look at the next one. Data analyst. I believe most of you have been surfing the net, right? Now there's something called big data. You know that? Big data or data science. Or you've not seen that. Now that is where we find ourselves. So if you're not good at data analytically, you cannot able to analyze anything. If I should ask you that, look at people who wrote the SSE or the WASP, sorry. Some wrote it in 2002, some wrote 2003, some wrote in 2004. If I should ask that, among the years, which of the year badges did very well? How do you get information? Meaning that data have been collected with reference to the following years, right? So you compare and see that within the year or these 3 years, which of them did very well. So this is where you have to analyze the data to get the information. So on this tangent, if you learn data science, you end up with something called Power BI. Have you heard of Power BI before? Now all these things are hot cake in the market. Data scientists, we are looking at somebody who can analyze data and want to create certain method. Anything that we do, so whatever is concerned. When I do records of what, let's say students, we call it data set. We call it what? A data set. So data set always contains the information about. If you are being asked, now how do you alleviate schools at that risk? What do you do first? You must ask yourself that, has it been done before? And what was the methodology that was used? By analyzing data to find out and what was the yield result to solve what problems. So now you see that when we talk of science, science is not basically somebody who's dealing with chemicals. But science is somebody who does observations and then tries to come up with solutions. So when you observe and you don't come up with solutions, then what kind of scientists are you? That's when you analyze then you put the hypothesis and stuff. Are we clear? So when you learn this, you are good to go. And the one thing I like right now is this. Now with the first model that remains structured. At first, from year 1, you do development and lot of what? Management. But now, they have fused in courses that were done in year 2 into semester 2. So now when you are enrolling only year 1, you will to get a chance to learn all this stuff. Now when you hear DBA, it means database what? administrator. He's a professional who manages your software databases for a company. Now, when you are an administrator of a company, your core mandate is to make sure that you protect the data. Your core mandate is to make sure your security is very tight. Why is it that when you go to most companies, every individual has his own password and login? Every user has a password and login. Why? Other than that, anybody can come in and then use any accounts to perform certain fictitious stuff, and they might not go have a trace. So it's your duty to make sure that in terms of security, with your databases, should be top notch. So you having to administrator, you administrate to make sure that data is being protected. In what way? In exercise that of one of us, security was features.
And a database manager.
Data and what?
Manager.
He said you want to know the difference between database administrator and then database manager. Now, when you talk of database administrators, the administrator is the one who deals with what? Only the security features. Are you getting it? The security features, how to assign users rules, how to assign that of what profile web user. But then the database manager happens to be that of what the general. He can do several things that surpasses what the administrator will do. So a manager can be administrator when you learn those core mandates. Well, for instance, we have people who build software from the beginning to the end. And you have some people, they build to some point and they give it out to another person to continue. For instance, you see that when you create a software happens to have a front end and a back end. The back end happens to be a database, right? Whether it be SQL Server, whether it be MySQL, whether it be Oracle, whether it be DB2 or anything. And then the front end can be of any other stuff. So for instance, if you are a software developer, you develop and I create a database and then you connect it. Is that not it? Exactly.
Sorry. And I always have to do for graphic and web. Okay? So if you are here, you did graphic and web, can you raise your hand? Oh, you are not me. Okay. So, this is just a different department that talks about graphic and web. And just like any other people what they did, when they ask you, most people, you are with us, you did maybe 1 year or 6 months or whatever month, and they ask you, what did you do? You say you did graphic and web. And they ask you, what is it? You are not able to what? To answer. And that's something that you did. So meaning, while you are learning, you don't even know what you are doing. You need to have the interest of something that you are doing and what is it about. If somebody asks me, because most of you, when they ask you questions, you are confused, right? Who are you as a graphic designer? Are you getting it? Who are you? What is a graphic designer? So you might find a lot of definitions about graphic design, right? So I'm going to break it down. Maybe you'll be reading it. I don't want to read, but I'm going to give you just something small. These people are powerful people. I'm going to give an example. Do you remember when we had COVID, right? And remember during the COVID time, and you realize that people were not printing things again because they don't want people to touch. So graphic designers became powerful people. And how did they become powerful? I'm talking about the good graphic designers, because they were conveying messages. I am in my office designing, and I want people to follow certain path, and everybody that will get the flyer or whatever it was, they should act in the same way. So a graphic designer is a powerful guy that can sit anywhere far from you, at the same time convey messages to you. And the messages have to be clear to you guys, because by the time you get it, for example, most of you are here, we didn't call you, you got what? A flyer, right? And you knew the time and the location on whatever year. You see how powerful we are? We can be anywhere and just send these messages to you to have. So that's the powerful tools of a graphic designer, is what? To use my imagination wherever I am and using visual things to convey messages to you. Have you seen how powerful these people are, right? So if we didn't have a good graphic designer, you people might not even be here, because the message have to be clear and everything in Ghana. So you design for Ghanaians. Oh, my product now, I'm designing, I want everybody in whatever they have in the world to be part of this company. So you have to know, and that's where you meet your clients and know their needs. We give you this slide maybe to do because we have only some few time. So we have creative visuals, knowledge base, design concept, cooperating with the clients, meaning that, after doing your sketches and whatever, going, look at how the companies is, like their color brand, their whatever, the font. If you can even find a problem with whatever they have currently, it's good. So that when you go that far, I went through your things and I realized these colors have meaning. And maybe what they use does not go according to their brand, and you can talk about that one. So one, know who are you as a graphic designer. Two, know well about what? The course that you did. And can you go to the next one, please? And this work environment that you can be. As a graphic designer, you can be self-employed, right? You do your own thing. It looks like these days, sometimes this works better now. Like you do your own thing, go and looking for people. Other than that, somebody has to get you some clients and you have to give them some cut after working for them. They don't know anything about graphic, but what normally happens, you have to give them some that working for them, but they don't know anything. So you can have this tool as just doing adverts for people, but you're a graphic designer, but this is what you do. And you can even be just graphic designer, just doing logos. To have international certificate to back it. So you have RPMC and you add that one to that. It's very, very important, right? To back it and that. But we realize something. Some people, when they come to here, like you just want to have a certificate. But if you go for the interview, let's say you got A, you got B and C, you're not be able to answer questions that they'll ask you. Okay, what's the difference between bitmap and vector? If you did graphic and web, what's the difference between these two? You cannot even answer because these are the basic things as a graphic designer should know. Because we work with vector and bitmaps. So if you are not able to answer these questions like what is the resolution, what does it do, and when you talk about PPR, right? What is it and whatever you are not able to explain. Now, they can ask you which tool do you use. Let's say, okay, which tool that you might use when you are dealing with vectors. What are the software that you use for vectors only? If you know those vectors can work with bitmap, you are not able to answer. Why? But they look at your CV and your certificate. You have A's and B's. What does it mean? You just came for certificate.
He's my boss, so I would say my boss has said so much. He has explained so much, which is really good. He left out a couple of things. I just want to touch on those things. As a graphic designer, you should also make sure that anytime you are going for an interview, you should have your portfolio. And what would be your portfolio? Some of the designs that you created for people, even that for yourself. Assuming you are home and then you felt bored, maybe you got some ideas and you put something down. It's your portfolio, it's part of your portfolio. Are we okay? You created logos for people, you created any form of design that you create, you can add those things out as your portfolio. And you can actually put your portfolio up in folders, or you can decide to actually have them to be online, or you can just put them on a pen drive. You can just put them on a pen drive, and when you go for your interview, alright, you can just share it with your employer or whoever is going to interview you. Are we okay? Aside that, we also deal with websites, which he didn't talk about that. Now, as a graphic student, we also get to learn how to create websites. You'll be able to use some of the tools like HTML, CSS to build websites as in the beginning, alright? In the advanced levels, we learn about how to build websites, and there are two differences.
So software engineering is applying engineering principles and knowledge of what programming languages to build software solutions for end users. To all my friends that spoke, they are end users. Do you get it? All of them, from system engineering to database to graphics, they are all end users. So whatever.
Let the end user pass.
So if you are using CorelDRAW, Adobe Photoshop, whatever Adobe, there's a software guy who does it. From the slides, applying engineering principles and knowledge of our programming languages to build software solutions for what? End users. So if you're a software engineer, okay, you have varied ways of being an engineer. You can decide to be a front-end engineer, are you with me? Or front-end developer. So you will deal with your HTML, CSS, in fact the designing of the software. Okay?
So why are you here? I'm Daniel, professional software engineer with advanced certificate from IBM's College of Technology with extensive knowledge in programming, understanding of object-oriented languages, and software testing. Aside that, I possess different programming languages such as C#, VB, C++, and others.
Slow down.
Okay, so what job positioning are you applying for?
I'm applying for a software engineer. Aside that, I'm a programmer, so I'm here to apply for testing software. Yes. Yes, I'm familiar with software backend development. Example is websites and mobile applications, such as desktop applications as well.
No SQL?
Yes.
So which of the no SQL applications have you used before?
No SQL.
Yes.
I mean, you have to read from the question first.
Quickly learn on MongoDB. Can you?
It will take time, but yes.
Just say yes.
It's better to say yes.
The agile methodology.
No.
What's your level of experience?
So my level of experience, as I said, I hold a professional diploma from software engineering. So I've been able to play with basic software languages like C#, VB, Python.
So that's okay. In a typical software interview, there are two main approaches that are used. We have what we call the whiteboard approach, and we have the second, which we call the coding approach. Now, I would not allow him to continue anymore because he has to prove to me that he's capable to do what? Of handling the task. So what will be done is, that's why you see me doing this a lot. He has to prove to me that he can solve the problem. So, this is how the software engineering interviews go. So I'm taking that approach, so you watch very carefully. So I'll give you the floor to solve a problem for me using one of the models that you are very familiar with. When we are done, I'll connect you to a pool for the coding side because I need to see the thing working practically. So you move to the whiteboard and use your approach to solve a problem for me, a simple problem. And this is the problem. I need you to build a system that would be able to calculate the area of a triangle on the board. So just show me the approach that we use. Can you do that? Yes, the area of a triangle. So that's what I'm saying. When we say software engineering, it's not just to capture the details of their employees. So I want you to use an approach to solve that problem for us before we transfer it. And they asked you this question. I have 3 different employees having the same first name, having the same middle name, and having the same last name. How can I differentiate those employees?
By using your unique IDs, by their IDs.
So why can't I see ID over there?
Hold on, she closed the section. She has to close the section.
So I know we are all tired. Thank you for staying for about 4 hours